Hello, it's Reija and welcome to another video. Today I am going to be sharing with you the mid-year book freakout tag, which is a long-standing tradition on BookTube. I have seen people doing this tag ever since I joined in 2017, so it's a pretty long-standing tradition, and obviously I am not the one who originated it. But I am going to link some of my favorite renditions from this year onto the description so you can check other variants out as well. But without further ado, it's time to be tolerably freaked out by the year. Woo! Best book you've read so far in 2021. Well, first of all, I've read Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, which I really enjoyed and adored, and another one that I gave 5 stars to, and which is my current top tier pick, is When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain by Nhi Vo. I love that novella. So, When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain, best novella. And Black Sun, pretty close to being the best book. Probably it is the best book I've read this year. It was so just... I liked the mythology, the magic system, the politicking. It was just so good. Such a fantastic story, and I also loved that I got to buddy read it with Rachel from Kalamari. Best sequel you've read so far in 2021. For this, I will have to go with The Girl in the Tower by Catherine Arden. I read that in February, I want to say, and that was just such a good book. And also, I had my issues with The Bear and the Nightingale when I first read it, but basically, The Girl in the Tower took all of my issues and blew them away, and basically improved on every aspect on the first book, so it definitely did what a sequel should do, and it teased some plot threads going forward into book 3, but also managed to finish its own arc and end on a really satisfactory note, so yeah. But I have a sneaking suspicion that The Mad Ship by Robin Hobb will top that. I have like 200 pages of that book left to go by the time I'm recording this, so unless that book completely shits the bed with the ending, I have a sneaking suspicion that it will top The Girl in the Tower for the best spot. New release you haven't read yet but want to. First of all, A Master of Jinn by P. Djeli Clark. This is the first novel that P. Djeli Clark has published, and also the continuation of his alternative Cairo universe. And I have really enjoyed everything I've read from that universe. I enjoyed The Dead Jinn in Cairo, and also The Haunting of Tramcar 015. I really just enjoyed everything else that he's written so far, so yeah, that is something that I want to pick up. And another one is A Desolation Called Peace by Arkady Martin, which is the sequel to A Memory Called Empire, which was one of my favorite books of 2019. So yeah. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. I have 3 answers for this because I couldn't just pick one. My most anticipated release is probably The Veiled Throne by Ken Liu, which is the 3rd installment in the Dandelion Dynasty series. The 4th and last one, Speaking Bones, is coming out next year. But Veiled Throne, I just really want to get to it because the way The Wall of Storms ended, I need some closure on something, so I really need to I really need to read that one. And the other ones are A Psalm for the Wild Build by Becky Chambers. Pretty standard. I read anything Becky Chambers puts out. She is one of my favorite authors, so it's a given that I want to read this one. And then She Who Became the Sun by Shelley Parker Chan, which is sort of like an alternative history, Chinese wuxia inspired fantasy. So that has so many buzzwords for me that I just want to know what it's all about. Biggest disappointment. For this, I was considering going with Unnatural Volume 3 by Mirka Andolfo. However, was I really disappointed? I knew what was coming. It was just a painful slog to finish the series. The actual real disappointment has been the continual degradation of The Promised Neverland. Because that is a series that I adored and I loved up until the 11th volume. I was giving 5 stars to pretty much every single volume because it was just that good. The characterization was great, the plot was great. There were some hiccups with it, but other than like it was so good and it was doing interesting things, and then it's just been a slow decline in quality, and it's just so painful to watch one of your favorite things go down the drain. And I have 2 more volumes to go until I finish the series, and I will just already know that it won't be able to save itself in 2 volumes. It just can't satisfactorily end all the plot threads and character arcs. It just won't. So yeah, that's the one I'm going with. My biggest disappointment is The Promised Neverland. What, like, all the things we could have had if only it had like maybe 5 or 7 more volumes. Like, it's not the problem isn't that the story isn't there. The problem is that it takes shortcuts. Like, it needed more length. And I, like, when it comes to, like, Shonen Jump serializations, you don't hear me say that they need to be longer. Like, I'm not going to say that Eiichiro Oda needs to crank out 20 more volumes of One Piece to, make his story good. No! No! But seriously, The Promised Neverland, like, easily could have been 30 volumes and it would have been better for it. Biggest surprise. I'm gonna say Ship of Magic, which is the first book in the Life Ship Traders trilogy by Robin Hobb. I'm not surprised that I liked it, but I'm surprised that I liked it so much and that it really lived up for the hype that it got. I was messaging friends about it and leaving voice messages just wanting to talk about that book because I was like so excited about picking it up, and I just I couldn't put it down. It was so good. You will hear more about it in my wrap up. But yeah, that book was just so great, especially because I liked the Farseer trilogy, but I wasn't like super impressed with it. Like, I liked it, I even loved parts of it, but it's not like it's my favorite thing ever. This will definitely be one of my favorite things ever because it was that good. Favorite new author. I'm gonna go with Martha Wells just because I've read so many things by her this year. I've read the majority of the Raksura books by her this year. And previously I read All Systems Red and I liked it, but I just wasn't that keen on it. Like, it was okay. It was fine. But I am not as big of a Murderbot fan as everyone else seems to be, so I was very surprised that the Raksura books really grabbed my attention and I've really been enjoying them, so I'm gonna say Martha Wells. Newest fictional crush. For this I'm gonna go with Malachite from the Raksura books. Normally, I would say that I don't have any fictional crushes, but Malachite is my new fictional wife. She can step on me any time of the day. She's basically the love child of Lady Dimitrescu from Resident Evil Village, Maleficent's dragon form, and the Borg Queen from Star Trek. Combine all those three and you have Malachite, and she is perfect, she is hot, and yeah, she can step on me any time of the day. And I will just say, please. Newest favorite character. I'm gonna go with Serapio from The Black Sun. He was just a delight to read from. Like, I don't think I've ever really read from a character like him. Like, he is very calm and collected, but also curious and, like, has this really intelligent curiosity and, like, almost childlike interest in things. So I really liked that juxtaposition of those two elements, like that aloofness and sort of disconnectedness from the like material world, combined with that childish curiosity and that need to have connections. So yeah, he was one of my favorites in Black Sun. And another character that I've really liked is Kennit from the Lifeship Traders trilogy. Kennit is a piece of shit. Like, he is horrible. He is such an awful person. But I also love him so much. Like, he is such a well-written character. Like, he does things that are so morally reprehensible, but all the while you're like, yeah, that makes sense for him. Yeah, for him that makes sense. And like, if Kennit was a person in real life, I would never want to be, like, I would want to have nothing to do with him. But as a fictional character, I love reading about him. He is such a fun character to read about because he's so different. He is so, like, he's so calculating and manipulative, and every time you think, oh, he's turning it around now we get the sort of redemption, and then he's like, yeah, nah, no redemption, just assholery until the end of days, and you're like, oh, well, okay, but he's such a delightful character to read about. Highly recommend reading the Lifeship Traders trilogy just for Kennit. Like, Kennit is so much fun. Like, he's awful, but he's so much fun. Book that made you cry. Now, I have to explain here that I don't actually cry when I read books. Like, maybe sometimes I will get emotional and I will get sad, but it's very rare that I actually cry. However, I do get anxious, and I get twitchy, and I will start to, like, shift my position while I'm reading because I'm getting anxious. And the two books that made me the most anxious and the most close to an emotional breakdown were definitely Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse and Ship of Magic by Robin Hobb, because every time I thought that things could not get any worse, things got progressively worse, and I also couldn't put the books down because I needed to know what was going to happen with my favorites. So yeah, those are my answers. Book that made you happy. The entire Spy X Family manga, the 4 volumes I've read so far by Tatsuya Endo, just a delightful romp about an alternative world that's inspired by the Cold War spy noir shenanigans of the, like, 60s and 70s especially, but also 80s. And it's just so much fun and so delightful, and I highly recommend that series to I honestly, I have now recommended it to, like, I want to say 3 people, and they've all enjoyed it. So I am very confident at this stage saying that like you should try it. You should try it out because it's hilarious. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year. Piranesi by Susanna Clarke, definitely. It has a like foiled it has a foiled naked hardcover. It has a foiled dust jacket. It's beautiful. It's very well bound. It's just a quality piece of design, and yeah, I've yet to read it, but just looking at it makes me incredibly happy. And the last question, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And for this I just want to say Ship of Destiny by Robin Hobb, so that I can finish off the Liveship Traders trilogy, hopefully next month even. I would also say that Winter of the Witch by Catherine Arden, so that I can finish the Winter Night trilogy. So those two are my like biggest priorities, but obviously there are many books that I want to read this year and by the end of the year, but we shall see. And there you have it. Those were all of my answers to the mid-year book freakout tag. Tell me in the comments what are your answers to these questions. Like, feel free to let me know in the comments your answers, and leave me a clover emoji down in the comments so that I know that you were here. And I will see you in another video very soon. Bye bye!